guys, welcome back to the channel and another tutorial video. And I want to start this video by saying thank you very much for the response on my last video where I reacted to my Britain's Got Talent audition tape. People seem to really enjoy that video, which is a good job because I hated watching that video. It was very, very cringy. But the reason I'm mentioning it here is because actually in that video, you might remember that one of the tricks was that I moved a hole punch across a card. And it was my favourite tricks of the ones that I did in that audition tape, and still something that I perform to this day. I think the trick itself is really good. Unfortunately, my 2016 performance of it wasn't very good. But with the right performance and the right presentation, this is a really cool piece of visual magic that not only works really well on camera, if you want to put it on social media or something like that, it's really good for that, but also it works really well in person as a trick. And the card can end examinable, and the person can actually keep that card with a hole punch in it that has impossibly moved. Now yes, it does involve a gimmicked card, but don't let that put you off, because the gimmick itself is actually really simple. I actually created Aperture, which is the name of this moving hole punch trick. I created Aperture specifically for my Britain's Got Talent audition. And I did it with a few things in mind, because the previous moving hole punch gimmicks that I'd seen were really complicated. The back of the card had all sort of sliding mechanisms, like the inside of a clock. There were sort of things moving past each other. It was really complicated and not something that I could deal with, and certainly not something I could make myself. So I created my own gimmick to achieve the same effect, but much simpler and much more practical, really. I guess it is a lot more practical because there's nothing really to break, and if you do break it, the gimmick literally takes about 30 seconds to make. So you can make a load in one go. You can do this to a whole deck. All it takes is one card per gimmick. Instantly repeatable, customizable, all of those great things. And without hyping it up anymore, let's get into this trick. For this trick, luckily, you don't need anything other than a hole punch and some cards. So if you've got cards, the cards I actually recommend are red bicycle cards. Now, you can try other designs, but the thing is, what you're going to need to do is hide a hole on the card. Basically, there are going to be holes already on this card that are going to be opening and closing to give the illusion that the hole punch is moving. That's how the trick works, and I'll tell you how to make those holes in just a second. But what you want are circular designs on the card. You want lots of sort of twisting, curling little patterns, and red bicycles have those, and it hides the hole completely. You just cannot see these holes. Even you really won't be able to see it from this side. Luckily, from the back where there's lots of white space, the holes are so visible. So from your point of view doing the trick, the audience aren't going to be able to see these secret holes that you're going to be opening and closing, but from the back, you'll know exactly where they are. So long as your cards have a white face, which most cards do, and some sort of curly back design like keepers or bikes or something like that, you're okay. And here's how you make the cards. So what you're going to do is line your hole punch up like so and get on its level. So you're going to want to peer at the hole punch, place the card in the middle, and then lower the hole punch down so that you're starting to create a hole, and then you're going to stop. And what you end with is that, a little sort of, what I call a little Pringle shape in the card. So you've almost made a hole, but not quite. And that's going to be really, really important, because now what you want to do is break one side of the Pringle hole. And you're going to try and do this with minimal damage to the card. So there we go. I've just done it, and as you can see, we have now a little flap, a little hole flap. And that's going to be sealing up perfectly on the card to create the illusion that the card is undamaged. And the way we seal it up is just by applying pressure from the other side and flattening this out. And if you just smooth it like so, from a distance, what we end up with is a card that looks completely undamaged. Now, obviously, if you know what to look for, you're going to spot it. But to an audience member, they see this, they see a card, and they don't think of anything else. Because why would they suspect that something has happened to this card already? So that's the first hole, and now you're going to repeat that across the card in various locations that you want. And these gimmicks last quite a long time. They're not indestructible, and obviously, as you can see, it takes hardly any time when you're not explaining to the camera. It takes hardly any time to make these gimmicks. And so, there we go. We end up with a flat, undamaged card for all the world to see, and yet you're able to create the illusion of holes appearing in different locations on the card. Such a simple principle. I don't really need to explain it. This isn't going to be a long video because this card's going to do all the work for you. Now, yes, there's a little bit of movement to sort of memorize, but it's quite simple. First things first, you're going to want to start with a hole visible. And you can demonstrate that this is a real hole by getting it to change colour like this. Now, you want the hole to move. So you're going to grab it, but the way I like to grab it is a little convincer, because I want people to see my thumb grab the hole from behind. And as soon as these fingers are in front and blocking the hole, this thumb is going to go under and push up. And it's going to push that slightly through the hole, just slightly, just rubbing over it so that it goes through. So you drag down to the next hole, and from your point of view it's really obvious where you're heading. Once again, I repeat the hole appearing action, and then my thumb just moves that out of the way and we get a new hole. Again, proving that it's a real hole. We take it one last time. You just come across and you push, and once you've pushed and that card is smoothed out, I move now to over here and I show the new hole. And what you can do is use your finger placement to help you. So if we go back to the first hole, which is over here, look at the way I'm holding the card. I'm actually holding it over the two holes. Now yes, obviously the holes are sealed up and no one's really going to see them anyway. Your fingers can help you over here and actually hide the hole a little bit. So now you grab it, you pinch it as if you're sort of dragging the damage, you drag it over here to the next hole and you show. And the way you can have this card examined at the end is really, really simple. Beforehand, you're going to take a card and you're going to hole punch it in a similar place to where the last hole will be. So if the last hole's going to be here, sort of line that up, see where it is, and hole punch it. And this time, you're actually going to do it again. You're actually going to hole punch it. So now you've got a real hole punch, messed up over here, that doesn't matter. You can place this on top of the deck, and when that final revelation has happened of this card, the final move, we show it's a real hole, we come over here, we do a top change, and when we drop that down, we can step away and people will reach for this, and no matter how much they look at this card, I mean, they've never seen the back, so they don't know what card it was to start with, that they can examine that and just be blown away of how that hole has moved. It's impossible. You end up with a moving hole punch effect that's really, really visual. I missed the table. It's really, really visual, and it'll be sure to be really good on social media. If you do put it on social media, make sure to tag me at CavGuyB on Instagram. I would love to see you guys performing this and any other of my tricks. I nearly always put those on my story because I love to see people putting my magic out there. It's really good to see people performing my tricks. Thanks for watching. Yeah, we have got another camera angle. I have got a GoPro, and if you want to see my unboxing of the GoPro and the GoPro sort of accessories that come with it, there are going to be two videos on the Cav channel, which is my second channel, where I talk a lot more about that. Thanks for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to click the thumbs up button down below, and you can also subscribe to the channel if you are new and you've never seen a video from myself before. I make videos about all things magic, talking about it, reviewing it, teaching it, reacting to it. So if it sounds like something that you might enjoy, then you can subscribe and join me on my video making journey. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
I think you're gonna have to be gentle. Or you're gonna have to go.